Hello, guys. Welcome to lesson number 16. We're going to talk today about the resume and the LinkedIn. It's a very important lesson. I see more people are joining. Those that will come later always can watch the video recording from the beginning. I always recommend to join from the beginning because many times we discuss the most important topics in the very beginning. But we can start and maximum the rest will watch the video recording. So guys, you are approaching soon to the end of the course, but I want you to understand that the end of the course, which is probably going to be lesson number 19, during which we're going to focus you on the things that you're going to really need in order to pass the interview and get the job. We also going to discuss all the interview questions and answers that you going to need, and all the instructions regarding how to join the internship and when to join the internship and when to contact the mentor and what to prepare for it. And of course, after you're going to pass the mock interview with the mentor, you will get our help with the resume, with the LinkedIn, and the instructions regarding the job search, or we're going to help you and apply for jobs for you. But that's definitely something that we are going to discuss with each and every one of you. Different people, some of you have upfront, some of you have income share agreement, some of you have the job application services as part of your program, some of you not. So definitely it's something that you will discuss with the mentor after you pass the mock interview, and we make sure that you speak English, that you know the basics, that you learn the questions that we prepared you for. And once we verify that, we can move forward and we can help you with everything else, with the resume, with the LinkedIn, with the job search. But first of all, we need to make sure that you're ready to pass the interview and to get the job, which is going to be very simple. And after the last lesson, you definitely going to know how to do that. Now, guys, I want to remind everyone, because I know that many of you are still a little bit confused and not sure and overwhelmed. You receive a lot of, lessons, different terminology, different theory, different types of testing, agile, sprint, waterfall, different types of testing, SQL, API, and a lot of new things that you learn. And I want you to understand that 85, maybe even 90% of what you learn, you will never need. Not in work, not in your personal life. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But you actually might need it during the interview, because during interviews, they sometimes ask questions that are not really related to what you're actually going to do, but they still going to ask it just to make sure that you are techie, that you know the basics, that you know the different platform devices, that you know the basics about Linux, about API, about SQL, about how to write test cases, how to write bug reports. That's pretty much what they want to see. But again, 80 to 90% of what you learned, you will never need. The actual work is much more simple. The actual work, you probably can learn in 2 hours, sometimes 2 days, if it's something more complicated and sophisticated. But usually, I believe that in 2 hours, you will know what to do, how to do. Of course, during the first days at work, You will get familiar with the procedures, with how to answer, what to say during the different, stand-up meetings, for example, just by seeing what others are saying. You will get used to the different procedures that happen in your company, because different companies, they have their own things going on. But definitely it's going to be something very straightforward, very simple in 95% of the cases. You will always have an exception of one company out of 100 that will make something sophisticated, something complicated. You will need to use maybe new tools, new technology, and of course, someone will guide you and show you how to use it, where to use it, when to use it. But in most cases, it will be very straightforward, very simple. And all of your work, if you still didn't understand it, will be to execute test cases that in most cases, not you wrote, but someone else wrote. And just because, before you joined the company, they already had QA in most cases. So someone already wrote the test cases. And what you're going to be doing is basically executing those test cases and marking them as pass or failed. If it's pass, you move to the next one. Pass, you move to the next one. Pass, you move to the next one. Every test case will usually give you steps. Go here, click this, expected this. Once you see a mismatch between actual and expected behavior, whenever something is not working, then you will write a bug report and you will assign it to developer. During the first days at work, you will know exactly who's the developer that's going to take care of what. And you assign it to developer fixes the problem, assigns the ticket back to you. You verify the bug fix on the new version or on the new build, if it's a mobile application. And if it was fixed, you close the issue and leave a comment: issue no longer reproducible on this and this device platform build. If it's still reproducible, you reopen the ticket, assign it back to the developer, and leave a comment: issue is still reproducible on this and this device platform build. That's it. That's your job. That's what you do at work. How many bugs you write? Pretty much 4 to 7 a day, sometimes 0, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Maybe some crazy day when you have a lot of things going on, maybe 10. But in most cases, it's between 4 to 7 bug reports per day. What you do rest of the time? Execute test cases, write pass. You have more time, maybe someone will ask you to write some test cases in some companies. I believe that 60% of you, maybe even 70% of you will not need to write test cases because someone wrote them before you joined. But in 30 to 40% of the jobs, they might ask you that. And of course, it will be very straightforward, very simple. Somebody going to show you how to do it. And I promise you that you're going to be all right. How I know that? Why I promise that? Because I just see our graduates that working in 28 states in more than 200 companies. And you know what? I don't see anyone being fired. I don't. It actually surprises me, but I don't see anyone being fired because he was not able to do the job. We just had one guy who was fired because after 3 weeks of working at Facebook, he came to a meeting with the team and he said, I cannot sit and do nothing. Please give me something to do. So they fired him the next day, because in QA, sometimes you just need to sit quiet and do nothing. Of course, the best practice is once in 3-4 hours to message the chat of the team and say, hey guys, please let me know if you need my help. Of course, I don't want you to sit and do nothing, right? But if you have the situation at work, and you will have those situations, and probably a lot, when you're done with your tasks, you did everything you had to do, and you pretty much wait for instructions, wait for the next assignments, for the next tasks. And sometimes it takes time until the manager will find tasks for you. Maybe it will take a day, maybe it will take 4 hours. Okay, it happens. So if you have nothing to do, of course, you want to ask if anyone needs your help, and you can ask your lead or manager if they have anything for you. But sometimes they will say, no, we don't have, just, do exploratory testing or ad hoc testing, which is the same. Get familiar with the application, play with it, try to do something weird, strange, something that you never did before to find how to break it. Okay, guys? So I really want you to understand that, because until you understand that this job is that simple, that you can learn it in 2 hours, I'm not sure you're going to feel confident. And I want you to feel confident, because that's the truth. It is simple. And it is being paid 70 to 100K, 35 to 50 per hour. If you're going to ask for less, the companies probably will not want to hire you, because if you ask for less than 70K, you probably have, no, not probably, you definitely have no idea what you're doing. Okay. By the way, 70K is also super low. It's very low. So keep that in mind. And a rule from me: whenever you see something complicated, like you learn something and it looks complicated, please try to watch it second time, because in manual testing, you just cannot have anything complicated. In case that you don't get it and you don't understand after watching the second time, most likely you will never need it. Okay. So if you tried to learn API or SQL and you feel that it's complicated, that this is sophisticated, that it's not something you really understand after watching twice, forget it. Like you never saw it before, remove it from your resume and never get, and just forget it. Why? I will tell you why. Because API and SQL, 95% of you will never use it work in manual testing for sure. That's why it might appear maybe in 2 interviews, maybe 3 interviews out of 10. So 70% of the interviews will ask you exactly what we're going to talk with you about during the last lesson number 19. So that's what you want to learn. That's what you want to repeat over and over and over again. I'm sure that if you're going to watch the last lesson for 20 times and more, you will be very well prepared to pass the interview and get the job. But you need to keep in mind that it's not only enough to learn the questions, you also need to be confident. You need to show that you're confident, because companies, whenever they feel that someone is not confident, they're not confident about hiring him, because they just want someone to come and write back reports. And definitely to do something simple like that, the person needs to be very confident. They don't want someone who shows that he's not sure what he's doing. Okay. And companies that, maybe the hiring managers, they don't really care if you're going to be paid 20 per hour or 50 per hour. They will prefer to pay you 50 per hour just to avoid headache, because the money is not of the hiring manager, the money of the corporation, of the company. So of course he will prefer to pay more just to get someone to do the job and not create a headache for him. That's why you want to be very confident. And of course you will be confident if you're going to watch the last lesson over and over again, and you're going to join the internship, and you're going to prepare for the interview questions and pass the mock interview, and double check your resume and LinkedIn with the mentor after you pass the mock interview. Of course you're going to be confident. Just we need your help, because we are helping you, but help us to help you. You need to be confident and you need to follow instructions. If you're not going to be confident, your job search going to be longer. Why? I don't want you to search more than 3 months. I don't see any reason for that. So better to be confident now than thinking about it later. Be confident, repeat interview questions. We're going to support you. We're going to help you. We're going to have graduate meetings every Saturday. After you graduate, every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to meet. We're going to answer your interview. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to share with you success stories of your fellow graduates that got jobs. And guys, our graduates are getting jobs every day. I'm telling you. Before it was like a couple people a week, but now it's like every day we have graduates getting jobs. And we actually bring many of those graduates to the graduate meetings to share their story. And I hope that you guys, once you're going to get the job, you also going to come to the graduate meeting to motivate others, because those guys that got the job and came to the graduate meeting, thanks to the motivation that they bring to others, people are getting jobs. So I want you, after getting the job, also to come and give back to your fellow graduates and motivate them to get the job like you. So guys, I actually gonna share with you today videos of those success stories, because I just want you to witness that. Not only like listen to what I say, I want you to listen to them. I want you to watch those videos. I want you to see those guys that just graduated a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, getting the jobs, getting 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120K. Okay? I really want you to watch those videos and listen carefully. Listen very carefully. We're going to be here with you. We're going to support you. And you will definitely see the results by just following the instructions. Okay? So just follow the instructions now. So you won't come to me after 2-3 months and tell me, hey, Max, why I cannot get a job? And I will tell you, well, because you're not following instructions. You don't do this, you don't do that, you didn't do that. Okay? So follow instructions, and I promise you're going to see the results. Okay? But of course, if you won't see the results after 3 months, we will double check what's wrong, because maybe something went wrong. Maybe you didn't double check the resume and LinkedIn. Maybe you didn't prepare well for the interview. Maybe you sound not confident. Maybe you sound like a robot. Maybe you sound like you're reading from a page. That's why I recommend everyone to go to the mirror and answer the interview questions in front of the mirror to see how you sound, to make sure that you sound legit, that you sound confident, that you don't sound like you're reading someone else or you're faking it. No, I just want you to be confident. So today we're going to talk about your first impression, the resume, the LinkedIn. That's your business card. That's how companies going to judge you based on your resume first. Otherwise, if they don't like your resume, they will not call you. They will not give you. They will not call you for interview. Sometimes they actually will call you for interview, but eventually they will not hire you because your resume looks bad, weird, strange, or something like that. We will make sure that it looks good, that you have a nice resume, a nice LinkedIn. The lesson that we're going to have today is mostly just for your understanding how a resume should look like, how LinkedIn should look like. I recommend everyone not to create resumes right now, to forget about resumes and LinkedIn right now, and just to focus on preparing well by the last lesson that you're going to be having soon with the interview questions, and to really focus on that lesson. I'm going to be with you during this lesson, by the way. So the lesson of today is just for your understanding, so you understand better how the rules of the resume, the rules of the LinkedIn, and it's very important after you join the internship, you prepare for the interview questions, you pass the mock interview with the mentor, and you create the resume and LinkedIn and verify it with the mentor before you start the job search. It's very important for you to know those rules that I'm gonna be showing you now. Cool. By the way, the videos of the success stories that I just mentioned, I will share with you right now, because I really want you to watch those, and I want you to understand what we are doing here. So I'm gonna share it with you in the chat, and I hope that you guys can copy it and keep it, because at the end of the lesson, they will disappear. Those of you that are watching the video recording of the lesson, don't worry, I will share those videos as well during the last lesson. And if you still gonna watch just the recording during the last lesson, you will find those links with the graduate success stories from the graduate meetings in our Slack channel, which you're going to join really soon. It's going to be a Slack channel or other channel, but it's definitely going to be a channel where we're going to be communicating with the graduates. Okay, awesome. Now today we're going to talk about the resume, and I will share my screen with you right now and start explaining you. So let's start. It's just an example of resume that I wanted to show you, just a template. We're gonna work on that. So you guys gonna have different resumes, different formats, different companies, different projects, different bullets, different styles, okay? Different fonts, because we don't want everyone to have same kind of resume. We want you guys to have as much as possible different resumes, because we just don't want, you know, companies to receive similar resumes. We want you to have different resumes. It will help you with during your job search. By the way, it's something that other bootcamps are not doing, and we decided to be different because we care about you getting the job as soon as possible. That's why we try harder and smarter than anyone else. So what we can say about the first name and last name. Don't forget to make capital letters of your first and last name. The name, if you're like, you should write your real legal first and last name. But if you want others to call you differently, if your name is hard to pronounce in English, of course you can change it to whatever you want, and just let everyone know that, hey, this is my name that I prefer everyone to call me, but I actually have a legal name. Whenever you're going to be on board doing the onboarding and getting the job, you will share your legal name, of course, but you can always choose a different first name if you prefer others to call you differently. So last name, I hope that you guys won't need to change it, because it will raise questions. Why are you changing your last name? It will you know, potentially raise red flags, because maybe you're hiding something. So I don't really recommend to change the last name. And if you can write your legal name and you're okay with others calling you that name, I recommend to put your legal name. So the title, the profession that you guys have, you know, you actually can write different things. You can write manual QA tester, you can write functional QA tester, or you can write software QA tester, or you can write software QA engineer. Now, me working at Apple, my title was software QA engineer of second degree. At Intel, it was test engineer. At DAP Digital, it was functional tester or something like that. So guys, different names for exactly same kind of job, exactly same kind of job. Of course, you will have some positions for software QA engineer where they're going to ask you for more, like automation, Java, Python, Selenium, but who cares? Because you will have a lot of positions named software QA engineer where they're going to hire someone like you to do manual testing. How we know that? Because our graduates are getting the jobs all the time. Okay? The job description of many software QA engineering positions going to ask for more, for automation, Selenium, WebDriver, API, SQL, Python, but in many cases, this job description doesn't mean anything. Why? Because they are offering you 70K, 80K, 90K, 100K. Someone who knows automation, Java or Python, he will not even talk to them for less than 115. Okay? That's why many of those jobs going to get to you. Of course, after you're going to apply for many jobs, you will get a lot of no's. Many companies will tell you, we decided to move with someone else. You don't have enough experience. We need you to know automation. We need you to know Java. We need you to know this and that and this and that. So you should definitely expect to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 no's in the emails whenever you apply for jobs. But you will notice that after 50, 60 no's, you will start getting yeses. You will start getting invitations for interviews. And eventually, after you're going to have usually 4 to 10 interviews in 1 to 3 months, you will see that you will start getting the offers. Of course, you need to repeat the interview questions, you need to attend the graduate meetings, you need to follow the instructions, and you will see the results. I promise you that. So what I recommend is to write software QA engineer. It just sounds better and you can ask more money, which works great. Now, regarding the location, you put your city, you put your state, like I did here, and you put your zip code. Now, I see people doing different things, like something like this, or, just don't do it. Just do what we show you and don't do anything else. The city. I recommend if you live in a city that called, let's say, Pocahontas, and it's 5 minutes or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 minutes from New York, for example, you don't want to write Pocahontas. You want to write a name that everyone knows, because many recruiters, they have no idea where this small town is. So you can, if you live 20 minutes or 30 minutes from New York, I would recommend to put New York, New York. If you live not far from San Francisco, write San Francisco. Not far from LA, write LA. Okay, you got the idea. Don't forget the zip code. And it could be your zip code, which is 30 minutes away, but you can write the city and the state that everyone knows. Cell phone. Just write it in the format that I show here, because if you're going to write it like this, you see, it's ugly. We don't want it to be ugly. We want it to be nice and beautiful. Make sense? Okay. Email. You just use a Gmail or Yahoo. I don't recommend to use foreign emails like French or Russian or UK or Canada or Australia or any other. Why? Because companies will think that you live there. And we don't want it to happen. We want them to know that you're in the US and you're authorized to work in the US. You want to have a Gmail or you want to have a Yahoo. Keep that in mind. The name of your email, it should be something not crazy, okay? It should probably be your first and last name. I don't really want you to write your year of birth or something. I prefer you to just write the first name, the last name. If it doesn't allow you to create the email, you can put a last name and then the first name. You can put the dot. You can do it without the dot. You can add the first, the second, the third, whatever you need to create the account. You can add .qa if you want, but it's definitely should be something not crazy. Don't create Hitman 666 or stuff like that. I saw different emails. A lot of them were very funny. Some of them were not funny, but you don't want to put anything that sounds strange or weird. Why? Just because they will put it in the trash and you don't want it to happen. Okay? You want to show that you're professional, that you're serious. LinkedIn. You just write LinkedIn here and you can create a link. You see, once we click the link, we can write, we can link it basically to, we can basically create a link to, basically we can create a link that will take the user to a certain page. Okay, we can write the link over here. It should be your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, I recommend to create a LinkedIn profile just with your smile, with your picture, with your first and last name, and don't put anything else, just that. Okay, and you can paste here the link of your LinkedIn. Awesome. You can link anything. You see, when you click boom, you can put a link anywhere you want. So that's regarding LinkedIn. I don't want you to paste the whole link over here because it will look ugly. I prefer you to use this option to just link the word of LinkedIn. Now let's talk about the summary. That's we call a summary, and it has bullets. We call that bullets. Now the bullets should be simple, straightforward. You should definitely know what they mean, and you should be able to answer at least in few sentences about those bullets. So for example, you'll write the amount of experience that you have with software quality assurance projects related to testing web and mobile products. Collaboration with development and product management teams. Of course, you work with developers to resolve the issues, to verify bug fixes, and to discuss the findings, and with the product manager to discuss the requirements, to clarify the requirements. That's what you do at work. Those bullets is just an example. I believe that many of you are going to have different bullets or bullets that are going to be phrased differently, but just I want to explain you the main idea. Another bullet will be, for example, enjoy learning new technologies and challenging concept, which is true. Excellent organizational and time management skills. Definitely you have it if you came to the class today or you watched the lesson. Work with offshore teams in multiple time zones. Yep, because during the internship that you're going to have, you're definitely going to have teams or members of the team working from different time zones. Analytical skills and attention to details. You definitely should have it, and if you don't, you should develop it, because that's what makes us QA engineers. Attention to details. Languages, just put the languages that you know. And when I say know, I mean that you really know, and it's your native language, and it's not just 5 phrases that you learned, okay? Because I see that sometimes. So please just write the languages that you know. It could be English and other languages that you really know. The last is your visa status. If you are a US citizen, just write US citizen. If you have a green card, just write the green card. If you have anything else like work authorization, EAD, asylum, stuff like that, just don't put anything and remove it from the bullets, okay? Like that. Why? Just because some recruiters are afraid from the word EAD or work authorization, and they don't want even to talk to you when they hear about it. I know that many people, whenever they apply for jobs and the recruiters are asking them, do you have, what kind of, visa do you have, or work authorization do you have? Many people just say, oh, I have a green card. And then they leave them alone, and they bring them to the interview. They pass the interview, hopefully. And once they got the job, they, for the basically onboarding, when they start the onboarding, they just bring the work authorization, and that's totally fine, because work authorization and green card is pretty much the same in many places. So and they just start the job. And if somebody going to ask them like, hey, you said you have a green card, they just say, yes, my green card is in process. Meanwhile, I have work authorization. Why? You have a problem with my work authorization? Most companies will not have any problems with your work authorization, as long as it allows you to work anywhere, anytime, without limitations and without sponsorship. Now, I don't instruct you to lie and say that you have a green card. I'm just sharing with you what happens in the industry and what many people are doing to just have more interviews, more calls, and eventually more offers. But again, if you want to say the truth and nothing besides the truth, you definitely can do that. You can tell them, hey, I have work authorization that allows me to work anywhere, anytime. For example, I have EAD, asylum. All right. So if you want, you can, but I just share with you all the options that you have in this market. And of course, you will get the job with the, even if you're going to tell them that you have work authorization, just maybe you will have less calls and less interviews, but eventually you will get the job just by following the instructions. In 1 to 4 months, you also going to have interviews, and definitely you will get an offer if you are prepared well. Technical skills, the platforms and all that, it's technical skills that we recommend to definitely mention. Now you see that they are aligned. What I see a lot when people are showing me resumes, at least used to show me resumes, now the mentors are doing it, I see something like that. You see how it looks? Ugly. Yes. And we don't want ugly. We want it to be nice, beautiful. So we're going to use the tab button and boom, 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 boom. And now it's aligned. Now it's beautiful. Okay? You got the idea, right? Make sure everything looks nice. If your resume looks bad, nobody wants to hire you as a QA engineer because you don't know basics of UI. Okay? So pay attention to that. If you watch the API lessons that we will share with you during the last lesson, we're definitely going to discuss it. And the SQL lesson, if you didn't have it, you will have it really soon. Those two, you put it only if you watched it and you understood it. If you didn't, please watch it second time. After watching the second time, if you still don't get it, remove it. If you understood it, keep it. Okay? Those topics gonna be asked in maybe 2-3 interviews out of 10. So you will definitely get a job without them as well. But if you will repeat and understand them, it will be even better, because with those skills, you will get more offers and maybe even more money. Work experience. It's just an example. You just want to put the month and the year when you started working in QA. Make sure that you follow this format because it's easier to read the month. Whenever it says like July or August or October with the words, it's not, you just, you need to think about it, you need to calculate. No, it's very simple, very easy. Numbers, best. Okay, so just use numbers. Also, we recommend to put that you're currently working there. And it's actually true, because once you join the internship, you will be officially part of the internship until you get the job. Why? Because companies, they don't like to hire people that are unemployed. They like to hire people that are working, because it means that other companies want them. That means that they probably know something and they were not, fired. So that's why you want to show that you're currently working there. And again, you are welcome to be officially part of the internship until you get the job. The internship going to be for minimum of 2 weeks, at minimum 2 hours per day. You can choose the days and the hours. But if you decide to stay longer, you're welcome. I just think that after 2 weeks, you will learn everything you need about your company, about your project, and about what you did at work, about stand-up meetings, and so forth. I see that you write questions. I will definitely answer your questions soon, guys. I promise. So you repeat your title, software QA engineer. I noticed that sometimes people write one title here and different title here. Please don't repeat those mistakes. Make sure that you are software QA engineer and that you are software QA engineer here as well. The company, you will know the company name after you're done with your internships, because you will have maybe 2 internships. You will be instructed by your lead which name of company to put, a recommendation which company to put, and you definitely should listen carefully to your mentors after you pass the mock interview. Before you pass the mock interview, there is no reason at all to discuss the resume. Why? Because we noticed that sometimes people are trying to start the job search without preparing for the interview, and it leads to very bad results. First of all, they ruin their name, and those companies will never hire them again. And second, they're ruining it to others, because someone who's going to have the same internship or the same company, and he will come to this interview or this company next time, they will say, we don't want people from there because they have no idea what they're doing. That's why we care about the reputation of our graduates, and we want to make sure first that you sound at least okay. I'm not saying fantastic. I'm saying you sound at least okay, and you at least know the basic questions and answers before we help you with the resume and the LinkedIn. Regarding the city and the state, so guys, the city and the state that you have here should be the city and the state that you have in your experience. It doesn't matter that the company is in California or in New York and you live in another place. Why? Because you are working from home. Since March 2020, most companies work remotely, and you work also remotely from your city and your state. That's why your city and state here should be exactly the city and the state that you have in where you are working. If they're going to tell you, hey, we saw that the company is in California, you can say, yeah, of course, but what's the problem? I'm working remotely there since, I'm working remotely from my home in the city and state that I mentioned. Make sure that you have those spaces, okay? Because I see a lot something like this. Remember how we call it? Ugly. We want it to be nice. Great. Awesome. So, bullets. We have additional bullets of your experience. For example, testing web and mobile applications, tracking and reporting defects with Jira. Remember, defects, it's same as issues or bugs. Developing, maintaining, and executing test cases using TestRail. We had lessons about it, and you will practice it much more during your internship. Performing black box smoke functional UI and regression testing. Yep, that's what you are doing. Most of manual testing called black box. That's what we do, black box testing. Very simple, very straightforward. Responsible for compatibility testing on variety of platforms and devices. It means that you just tested different devices and platform, which is true. Participating in daily stand-ups and sprint planning. Yep, you're going to have stand-up meetings even during the internship that you will attend, and where you're going to share what you're working on and listen to others. Okay? I don't want you to write 25 bullets. I think that 6, 5, 7 bullets are great. Just make sure that they are not overcomplicated. Make sure that every bullet you can talk about, you can tell about those bullets, and you really understand what they are meaning. By the way, I highlighted in yellow something that you will need basically to change, right? And edit. So the languages, the experience, the visa status that you have, the company name, the city, the state, and your education. Let's talk about the education, guys. So let's say you have a degree. Let's call it a BA degree it could be BA, or it could be master's, or whatever you have in your area of study, your university, your city, your state, and your country. So for example, you have BA in finance, or BA in law, or BA in anything else. Just write it down. Any education is better than not having anything. But if you don't have any education, that's fine. Just remove it. Why? Because we have graduates without any higher education that are getting the jobs and getting 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120K. And we have those as well. So without education, you're still going to get the job. If you have multiple educations, I recommend to keep the one that's going to be most technical. Okay? I recommend to keep the one that's going to be most technical. If you only have high school, just don't put anything. If you have a PhD, please hide it. It's better to put BA or master's, definitely not PhD. If you have, again, multiple different education, one is engineering, one is finance, one is law, one is MBA, just keep the one that is technical, most technical. You don't have any technical, just keep one which is less crazy, okay? Like BA in business. If you have a technical background, of course, write if you have BA in computer science or master's degree, of course, write it down. Companies would love that. But even if you don't have it, you're still going to get the job if you follow our instructions. Regarding the years, because sometimes I see people write something like that. Okay? Guys, please don't put the year of your education, especially if it was in the previous century or in the beginning of this century, because it will show that you learned 20 years ago. Okay? Many companies will not want even to talk to you after that. That's why you want to hide the year of education. You don't hide the education, you just hide the year, so you are not discriminated based on your age. Careerist is against discrimination. Okay? Awesome. Your previous experience, if it's not technical support or customer service, and it was before your experience in QA, you don't want to put it because you just don't want. Why? Many reasons for that. First of all, you don't really want to show 20, 30 years of experience so they know that you're overqualified and they can understand your age. Second is because any experience that is not QA, it's a bad experience for the resume, not in your life, but for the resume. If you have experience of something senior, a manager, a CEO, a president, a vice president, director, or something like that, that's really awesome, and you can discuss it during barbecue, but please do not put it in your resume and LinkedIn whenever you search for a job in manual QA, because companies will think that you're overqualified and they will, in many cases, will not talk to you. Now, I'm not saying that you will not get the job if you're going to put it. You probably would, but it might take you more time and more effort. That's why just follow the instructions and you will see the results. Okay? Awesome. If you want, you can put reference available upon request. Of course, we're going to provide you the references. Of course, you're going to pass the background check, the reference check, as long as you don't have any, problems with the law, you will be fine. By the way, I know people that work in QA and they have DUI, and it's not a problem in most cases, just in case that you were wondering. Cool. We usually recommend that the resume should be one single page. Companies will prefer you to have one-page resumes. If you're going to have more, it could not be more than 2 pages. Maximum 2 pages. We recommend only 1 page. But if you have some technical experience which is not senior and you want to share, and it's only you'll be able to put it only if it's going to be 2 pages. That's fine. You can do 2 pages. Just remember that the rule is that it's supposed to be minimum 1 and maximum 2. The font, there are different fonts that you can use. The most popular are Times New Roman 11 and Arial 9 or 10. But again, because we want you to have different resumes, different styles, you will usually have more than that, different options and different stylings. Now, the resume should be Word document. We don't recommend you to do a PDF. For some reason, a lot of people are doing PDF. Don't do PDF. Just do a Word document, please. And make sure that you don't put pictures or any kinds of lines, vertical, horizontal. Just don't do it, okay? You don't need to put header. You don't need to put footer. Always check the grammar and the spelling because you are QA and you are detail oriented. To do the spacing for the alignment, use tab. And just don't use any horizontal or vertical lines. That's the main recommendations. That's how resume should look like. And now, of course, as I promised, I'm going to answer your questions. So let's see. Before I go into LinkedIn, can I get a full-time job as well? I have ISA. Well, I'm not sure what's the connection, but you definitely can get a full-time or a contract. Maybe you meant the job application services. Yes, of course. And you're just going to need to talk with the mentor after you pass the mock interview, and we make sure that you sound good and you are prepared. And then we're going to help you with the resume, LinkedIn, and then you will start your job search with the job application services. If you are on ISA, or if you're on Upfront, you can start the job search, and we will guide you how to do that. It's not complicated, and you will definitely see the results by just following instructions. Is there going to be a bootcamp for business analyst? Not in the next future. I will travel in August for 3 weeks. Do you think it's best to wait until I return to start applying for jobs? Well, we have a lot of time till August. I think you can get a job and just tell them that you need to travel and work remotely during that period. What if we don't have experience? I have no idea what you're talking about, because you do have experience once you do the internship, and then you will have experience. What if I am unemployed for several months? I'm not sure what's the question and about what. I'm not sure. Please clarify. Another question. If I don't have any job experience, what should I put in the experience? Well, guys, you are about to join the internship really soon. If you did the score and watched the lessons and did the homework and the assignments or the quizzes that you had, and you have the score that allows you to join the internship, you join the internship. If not, you just need to do a few homework here and there to get the score and to join the internship. Once you join the internship, you start your own hand real experience, guys. And that's it. Every week, it just grows to more and more and more. I promise you that you will have enough experience to get 65 to 100K. Promise you that. How can I get experience with Apple products by using Chrome DevTool? I'm not sure what you mean, because Chrome DevTool, that you can use it on your MacBook, but it's on Chrome. So yeah, you can you can use it. Actually, on Safari, you have something very similar, but I'm not sure how Apple product connected to Chrome DevTool. It's not really much connected. Okay, just be familiar with how to use your MacBook, how to use your iOS, the basics of Xcode that we're going to talk during the last lesson about, and learn the Chrome DevTool. We're going to talk about it during the last lesson as well. Cool. And guys, I will read your questions as well soon. Let me finish first the one that were asked 10 minutes ago. If we hold master's degree and BA, should we list them both? Well, I think that you definitely can put both. Sometimes it's better just to put the BA, but you can definitely put both, BA and master's. What would you put in the experience when we are coming out of the internship? You will find out after you pass the mock interview with the mentor. We make sure that you are prepared, that you sound okay, and we're going to guide you regarding all of that. I promise you. And we're going to help you and double check your resume and LinkedIn. I received a couple questions. One of them is why. I'm sorry, but I don't remember what I was saying 11 minutes ago. And another one, owner. Not sure what it means. What do you mean by owner? By the way, guys, if you are still during your degree and you're studying right now, please don't tell it to anyone, because nobody really wants to hire students that are still studying, okay? And if it's not related to something, if it's not QA, and 99.99% that it's not QA, in your case, you just don't want to show that you're learning something else, because you're a QA engineer. You're looking for a job in QA. Why would you learn something else? It means that you don't want to be a QA. So you don't want to show it. And if you have a degree that you didn't finish, you can always write the degree, for example, BA or something, and you can write not finished. Make sense? Like this. Because if it's not finished, you don't want to write it like it's finished, because they might ask you for the diploma. That's why if it's not finished, you will write in resume and LinkedIn, not finished. And definitely you don't want to put the year. You don't want to show them that you're still studying. And you don't want to bring it up during the interview that you're currently studying somewhere, okay? Because it will just block you from getting the job. You want to put the year of education and it was right before you started your career in QA, okay, you can do that. But if it was more than right away, if it was a year or two, they will ask you, what did you do that time? Why? Just avoid those questions, okay? That's why you don't really want to show the year in most cases. So if you're studying associate in science and computer information system, but you're not graduating until next year, you probably can write the degree, not finished. And if someone going to ask you, hey, why you didn't finish it, you can say, well, I found out QA, I started working in QA and I love it. That's why I focused on the career, and the classes that I still didn't finish, I can finish during the next year or two, mostly for my mom. But yeah, I definitely gonna be doing it whenever I'm gonna have some time. Meanwhile, I'm focusing on my job. Okay. How would we change the LinkedIn if we have experience in another field? I will show you very soon when we're going to talk about the LinkedIn. What if I haven't worked in several years and I'm doing this to get off a disability and back to work? You just don't want to show the previous experience. Just focus on the experience that you have now. But again, you will discuss it with the mentor, because everyone have their own situations and the mentor will guide you. Electronics repair shop, good experience to share? Yes, I think it's a great experience to share. We don't need to mention date of birth anywhere in the resume? Of course not. How would a new person negotiate a pay? We're definitely going to talk about it during the last lesson. Do we need to bring a proof of degree if it's earned outside of US? If they're going to ask you and you put that you graduate, yes. Sometimes they don't ask, but sometimes they do. In education, is that a good, bad idea to say about certificates or boot camps? What about additional skills like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Adobe? If you have certificates in something technical, yeah, you can put it, but again, discuss it with the mentor and the mentor will guide you. Depends on the certificate. Usually it's good. I feel I need more time to review the material. Definitely, if you need more time, you can have more time, but I recommend to focus on the last lesson because there we're going to focus you on what you really need. Of course, we had to prepare you and we had to teach you a lot of things that you will never need just because you are entering a new profession, a new industry. So you need to at least hear some things to understand some basics, to learn some types of testing. Because at work, you think we need to know the types of testing? No, we just do what we are told. We do instructions. And during those test cases that you execute, maybe you will do 10 or 15 different types of testing without even noticing that. Okay? But again, because you're entering this industry, we want you to be more professional. We want you to know what is the difference between smoke and regression. We want you to know the different types of testing. We want you to know what is waterfall, what is agile, what is sprint, what is different topics, different terminology. We definitely want you to be familiar with. Is the internship start time flexible? Yes. What score allows to join the internship? As I remember, it was like 80, but I'm sure that your teachers are guiding you and they will clarify it during the next lesson if they didn't before. I'm pretty sure they did before, but just in case. If you're still not sure, you can email support@carrierist.com. How could I emphasize English grammar in relation to career? So if you have basically a degree in English, that's great. It means that you speak English. That's what you need. And maybe some companies, for example, we have localization testing, for example, in some companies when they just pay you, let's say $40 or $50 per hour to do testing of how things look on different languages, and it's your native language, they might hire you just to test that, to see that everything sounds and looks normally according to your language. What's hiring rate with diverse applicants? I can tell you that diversity is awesome and companies love diversity. And that's why many people gonna get a lot of opportunities just because of that, because many companies, they are looking for diversity and we all love diversity. So companies love it as well, and they will hire. They really love diversity. So you're definitely gonna get a job is if you're just going to follow instructions. But even if you're not diverse, you're still going to get the job. Just follow the instructions. Should we use this resume as a template? Right now, no. Right now, focus on the preparation for the interview after the last lesson, to do the internship and repeat the interview questions. And after you pass the mock interview with the mentor will guide you about the resume. Would you suggest we put GPA next to the education? I don't see any reason for that. If you own your own company, please hide it. Nobody needs to know it. It's going to be our small little secret. Is it okay to put that you have a side job? No, please don't. How soon can we get the mentor? As I mentioned before a few times, after you join the internship, repeat the interview questions, prepare for the mock interview, you will schedule the meeting with your mentor after you finish your 2 weeks of the internship. And after passing this interview, you will get help with the resume, with the LinkedIn, and with the instructions. How many days a week is the internship? Well, it's depends on the internship. Usually it's 5 days a week, but again, you can choose the days and the time. Just discuss it with the manager or the lead of the internship. Depends which internship, which company. We're gonna have different internships, so you will discuss it with them. You know, it's funny. I read some questions, and it's just questions that I already answered a few times today, just now, just the past 20 minutes. I was answering those questions, but people are keep asking it. For example, in case of the interview, if they ask a previous company name, what answer can I say? Guys, I just answered it a few times, okay? So you will discuss the company name, your resume, only after passing the mock interview with the mentor after finishing your internship for 2 weeks at least, okay? Cool. My diplomas and certificates under another name. I legally changed my name. How should I act? Put my degree in resume or just forgot? I like to avoid questions about my name change. I think you can put your diploma and certificate, like you can say that I have the degree, and when they ask for it, you will just provide your degree with the different last name and tell them, hey guys, it was my previous last name here. Here, you can see, it's me, okay? I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Many people are changing last names. It's fine. Cool. We can move forward. We can move and talk about LinkedIn. Yay. Let's see. All right. So you know what? Let me actually get back here. And I want to go to wow. Let me just really quick bring up the page that I wanted to share with you. Okay. All right, I'm gonna share this link with you right now in the chat. I'm sorry, I lost my voice recently. I talked too much. So I will share this profile and let me share my screen with you. All right. So let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also like a business card. It shows you exactly like the resume. So the LinkedIn should have your picture with a smile. I'm not sure he's smiling. Well, kind of, but I recommend you to make even bigger smile, something like that. Okay? Companies in America love people that are smiling. So put a picture with a smile, make sure that your profile picture, your photo is in the middle, in the center, and most what people see is your face with a smile. Okay, it's very important. Be having a bright picture. I don't want you to stand in the shadow or with sunglasses or to look like a gangster or stuff like that. I want you to be nice, friendly, smiling with a very bright picture. If you want to put a cover photo, you can put something, like a view, a city, a forest, a beach, stuff like that. I don't want you to put another picture of yours in the cover. It will look strange. Just don't do it. And I don't want you to put anything political, religious, or stuff like that. No reason for that. It's professional. It's your LinkedIn profile. It should be very, city and nature going to be the best. Again, your first name and last name, like it appears in your resume, with capital letters, your position title, make sure it's the same here and here. Your company name, ABC, is just an example. It's just a sample that we show you. So it's not a real name of the company. It's just an example. Then the area where you live, for example, San Francisco Bay Area or wherever you are, New York, Chicago, Illinois, wherever you are, you just put your location. Make sure that your location here is exactly the same location in your experience. In this case, we didn't put any location, but whenever you create the experience, you'll be able to put the location as well. And once you do that, make sure that it's the same as here. Connections. We recommend you to have at least 500 connections. Of course, only after you pass the mock interview with the mentor and you will create your resume on LinkedIn, which you will verify with your mentor. Before or during the time that you're going to start the job search, you should start adding connections. We recommend to add 40 people a day. Not all of them going to add you, connect to you, but you will definitely, if you're going to add 40 people per day, after a month or two, you definitely going to have more than 500 connections. How we add connections? Very simple. We go to the search and we write technical recruiter. Boom. It shows technical recruiters. Then we click the see all people results. Boom. We have 679,000 technical recruiters. I hope it's going to be enough for you. You just need to add up to 500. Location, you can best to choose the area where you live. For example, if you live in Chicago, you'll write Chicago and show results. Boom, 6,000 recruiters only in Chicago. How to add them? You come here, you click connect, send. You saw, I even didn't tell her hello. I was just adding her. I recommend you to do the same. You don't need to talk to them. You just need to add them. Why? Just for you to have the 500 plus connections over here. Okay? It will make your profile better. It will improve the visibility, and recruiters will prefer to hire you because they have mutual connections with you than someone who has 3 connections. Instead, they're going to see 500 plus connections with many people that they know, because recruiters usually connected to each other in many cases, and it will improve your chances of being hired. About is pretty much the same as your resume. Remember this summary, this is the same as in the summary. Experience going to be exactly the same as in your resume. Same date, same year, same month, same company, same city, same state, same bullets. If you don't want to put the bullets in LinkedIn, you can remove them. That's fine. You don't need to put them in LinkedIn. If you want, you can, but it's not mandatory. Just make sure that the dates, the month and the year is exactly the same like in the resume. That the company name exactly the same like in the resume. That the title exactly the same like in the resume. Because that's we call consistency. If it's not going to be consistent, you might not get this job just because of that. If, for example, here it says September and resume it says August, they might not hire you just because of that. Okay, so please pay attention to details. Education, you put the name of the university, the degree. Okay, you don't need to put the year. Now about the activity part, I actually want to show you how to get to the activity part. Just 1 second, guys. Let me just bring it. Okay, so let me share my screen with you again. Wow. Here it is. So guys, I just shared a link with you, and basically once I'm sharing the screen with you, once you click this link for your public profile setting, you will notice on the right side that you have something called articles and activity. I recommend to hide it. Okay, I don't want people to see what you're commenting, what you're sharing, your articles, your comments. Just I don't want to see that, and there are many reasons for that. Okay, so just hide it, please. Thank you. What else? Whenever you gonna create the LinkedIn profile, you will have an option to click the open to finding a new job. Okay, and then whenever you create it, you want to make sure that this is both for full-time and contract, and you want to make sure that you're going to choose who's going to see that, because I don't want everyone to see that. I don't want potentially, because you still work in a company according to your LinkedIn and resume, right? Because you're part of the internship until you get the job. So why would you show everyone that you're looking for a job if you're working in a company? It will raise questions. I recommend to make it visible for recruiters only, and you just click it, boom, okay? And then you just write your title, software QA engineer, open to remote work. You can write here software QA engineer. You can write here functional tester, QA analyst, and all the other names of the positions that we're going to show you during the last lesson. and you will just add it to profile so others know that you are looking for a new job. Just remember, the most important part, make sure that everything is consistent with your resume and your LinkedIn is consistent with your resume. Okay, guys? Awesome. Now let's discuss the questions that you have. Okay. Will there be second chance if you fail the mock interview? Of course, guys, of course. And if you fail the second time, you will still have a chance. And if you're gonna fail the third one, you're still gonna have the chance. But please, don't waste your time, don't waste your effort, don't waste our time. Let's get those jobs. For that, you need to be prepared and focused. Okay. I see on LinkedIn something like he, him, his, or she, her next to recruiter's name. Do you know what that means? I'm not sure what it means. We live in a new world, so I'm not sure. I don't know. But if you want others to know who you are and what's your gender and who you feel, you can definitely let others know about it. We love and respect everyone. Cool. Is that okay to add other people than recruiters on LinkedIn, for example, friends, just to have more connections? Yes, of course, it's fine. Do you need to add each other? I don't see any reason for that, because if you're going to have similar bullets, similar companies, similar profiles, I don't want it to pop up whenever recruiter is going to look into your profile. They will see your connections, and I just don't want it to pop up in front of their eyes. Just better for you, better for everyone. Would you get the job if you added all of your graduates? Yes, you're still going to get the job. But I just recommend to focus on adding the recruiters, adding QA managers, QA directors, adding maybe software QA engineers. But I think it's going to be totally fine. Cool. What should we add to the education after the course? So guys, as I mentioned before, you will get the instructions from the mentors after you pass the mock interview, and they will tell you all the options that you can use to write about your education, about your certification, about the course, about whatever you will need. You will get the instructions. I promise you that. Just focus all your energy or all of your effort on preparation for the mock interview and attending the internship. But most important is not the internship. Most important is the preparation for the mock interview. Okay? Awesome. And for those that for some reason came late and missed the success stories links of our graduates that I shared recently, I'm going to share it with you one more time. Boom. How many minutes mock interview will take? Well, I believe it's going to be probably between 20 to 30 minutes, most likely. Maybe a little bit longer, but maybe a little bit shorter, but I'm sure it's going to be around 20 minutes plus. All right. What if the people we work in current old companies that we eliminate from resume since it's not related to QA, see the profile in LinkedIn and ask about it? Well, it always works ignoring people that you don't really want to answer. I don't remember anyone getting messages from colleagues because nobody really cares about you besides your parents. So I don't think they're going to go into your LinkedIn and think what's going on with your LinkedIn. No, they care about themselves, about their jobs, about their families. They don't care about what's going on your LinkedIn. And if you don't want someone to know about your change in the LinkedIn, that's fine. Just block this person. Okay. You don't want to answer someone, just ignore him. Okay. Awesome. By the way, we had a question before, what we do with LinkedIn profile if you already have one and it's different. What I recommend is to change your LinkedIn to the one which is going to be QA only. In case that you don't, you really want to keep the LinkedIn for some reason, because of the contacts that you have here, there, it's for your business, something like that, you probably can keep it. Just please change the last name there and keep your legal last name for the QA position, because that's your real new job that you're going to get soon if you're going to focus. Okay, so forget about the past, focus on the present and the future. Okay, make sure you have LinkedIn profile with your first name and last name and a smile, which is going to be for QA, and we're going to edit it after you pass the mock interview with the mentor. You want to keep the old LinkedIn and create a new one, it's okay. Just make sure that they will not have the same name and last name, because recruiters gonna notice that whenever they're gonna search for you, they will see that you have two different profiles and they will not like it. I promise you that. Okay, now guys, do you want a short break for a couple minutes and we will continue for another 30 minutes? How do you feel, guys? Because I saw a couple messages about a break. Yes. I want to postpone my internship for 2 weeks. Of course you can do it if you want. It's okay. Awesome. Okay, so some people say no, some people say yes. Wow, so it's 50-50. Let's do it like that. Instead of 5 minutes, let's make it 2 minutes break and let's continue. I don't need the break, but I see some students asking me for a break. So let's have 3 minutes break from now. All right, guys, let's continue. I hope everyone is here. Let's see. I have an account, but haven't added anything yet. Should I still change it? I didn't understand your question. Do you mean that you created a LinkedIn account, but it's empty? Well, I want you to put a profile picture with a smile, okay? And put your first name and last name. All right. All right. What scores allows us to join the internship? As I mentioned before, I believe it's 80%. And if you want to double check, you can always email support@careerist.com. But as I remember, it's around 80%. How long will Careerist support in the job process? What if it takes more than 6 months? So guys, we're going to support you and we're going to help you in any case. Even if you had to go abroad for 4 months, for 6 months, and you get back, we're still going to help you. We're going to be here for you. Okay. So in case that the job search is going to take you longer than 2, 3, 4 months, we're still going to be here for you. But again, you don't want to get there. Why would you look for a job for 6 months? Why? I don't see any reason for that. If you're just going to follow instructions, it will not take you more than 2, 4 months. Sometimes it will take you 2 weeks. Just like today, I had someone who got a job after 3 weeks. Okay, so, but again, you'll always have someone who will get it after 3 months, 4 months. If you're not doing anything for 5 months and then you start to do the job search for 3 months, it might take you 8. But if you, from the beginning, you are focused on following instructions, you will get it in 1 to 3, sometimes 4 months. Is really need a LinkedIn profile picture? So So the question is, do I need a LinkedIn profile picture? You should, but again, if you don't want to be discriminated based on your age, for example, you don't need. You can no, you can just hide it. It's fine. Okay. So if you decide not to put your picture, it's a choice. Of course, having a picture with a smile will help you a lot. I saw different pictures. Sometimes people look like they just came out of jail, or they are sad, or they are mad, or they are worried, or they are, I don't know, in the middle of a training in a gym, or they are doing model photo shooting. Guys, it's professional. It's LinkedIn. Just look professional. Wear a polo, or wear something. No need to wear Adidas sportswear, okay, or swimwear. Just be professional. Look like you would look if you will come to the office. Okay, cool. Question: city, state as well. I'm not sure what you mean. Is it a question? If yes, related to what? Please clarify. Should we add you and other instructors on LinkedIn? Yes, of course. Please do. So yes, you want to put your city, your state, both in resume and LinkedIn, and you want it to be consistent. Now remember that the city and the state are going to appear in two places. One is under your, I will show it, okay? So boom. One is under your name, and the second one is wherever you work. For example, Apple at Cupertino, California. Okay, so Cupertino is located in the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, it's about 35 minutes from San Francisco. Cool. How can we add other students in LinkedIn? Did you hear me telling you to add other students on LinkedIn? Actually, I believe that like 10 minutes ago, I said that there is no need to do that. So why would you ask me that? But again, if you cannot live without them, yeah, you can add them. You will find them on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, you will find them on your Slack channel, or the platform that you will have to communicate between the graduates. Once you graduate, you will join this channel, and you will be able to meet everyone, and you can share your LinkedIn profile. But again, did I say to do that? No, I didn't. No worries. It's okay. It's okay. Is remote work like work in another country? I see. So you mean no? So remote job means that you can work remotely anywhere in the United States. If you live outside of the United States, you don't want anyone to know about it, especially if you have work authorization and let's say you're a US citizen, but you decided to go and live in Mexico and work from there. Potentially, you can get a job in US and start working remotely from Mexico. But again, you might, after you get the job, you might tell your manager that, hey, I need to visit my family. Can I work from Mexico for a while? I think that probably the manager will say, yes, sure, not a problem. But some companies, if they care about security and different privacy, they might tell you, no, we don't want it to happen. Okay, cool. What your opinion about QA in other countries? Well, my opinion is that we love all the QA people around the world, okay? And we always support them. But unfortunately, or fortunately for you, you are the luckiest. Why? Because in the United States, companies are paying between $6,000 to $9,000 per month for manual QA tester, software QA engineer, which is doing manual testing. In other countries, I don't think they're going to be paid more than $500 per month or $800 per month. If they're going to get $1,000 per month, wow. I think it will require them to be, doing some automation in many cases. Okay. But maybe not. But it's going to be between $500 to $1,000. Here you get paid 6 to 9. Wow. Okay. So enjoy America. Enjoy the American dream. I have experience writing bug reports for tester work. Should I include in the resume? Once you're going to pass the mock interview with the mentor will tell you if it's a good idea to include it or it's a bad idea to include it, where to include it. I think that if you had experience in QA, it's good to add. Cool. Awesome. Wow. So everything is so clear. By the way, guys, if I, for some reason, missed your question, sorry about that. Please write it again, just in case that I missed someone. I don't think I did, but just in case. I don't see profile change option on LinkedIn. Can you please tell me how to do that? Well, I promise you that if you're going to use common sense and you will spend 10 minutes on LinkedIn, you will find a little pencil icon which will allow you to edit your profile. And if you're not sure where is that, you can always go to YouTube or Google and ask, how do I change my LinkedIn profile? And you will get instructions. Very simple, I promise you. Okay? Is the mock interview before or after the internship? The mock interview going to be after the internship. During the internship, you will also repeat the interview questions that you're going to learn during the last lesson, lesson number 19. You will repeat those interview questions over and over and over again. I wish you will repeat it at least once, twice a day. And after 2 weeks, you're definitely going to be super prepared. You will hate my voice, but you will know all the questions and answers that you will need. Cool. The biggest problems that I see, it's whenever people are not detail-oriented and are not consistent, especially related to month, year, company name, title of the job. It's very important. It's very important to pay attention to details. It's very important that the bullets look nice, that you have the space between the words and the bullets, that you have the space, everything looks clear, everything looks nice. That's why we want you to double check the resume and the LinkedIn with the mentors to make sure that it looks good for everyone. Because sometimes, for example, you have a resume on Word document and you don't have Word, so whenever you open it with a different editor, you don't really see how it looks. That's why it's very important to double check with the mentor that he will be able to see that it looks good. And once he confirms that it looks good, you will just use this resume without ever changing it again. Because sometimes people, for example, they start a job search for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they don't get calls, they start to change the resume, they start to add something, to remove something, to change something. Don't do that. That's going to be the reason why you will come after a few months and will tell me, Max, why I cannot get a job? And when I look into the LinkedIn and resume, I see something very strange, very weird. And I'm like, why? Why did you do that? And they like, oh, we thought it will improve the results. No, it will not. Okay? And it's totally fine that the first 4 weeks or 5 weeks of your job search, if nobody calls you, that's fine. Totally fine. If more than 6 weeks, you don't get any phone calls and any interviews, then we definitely want to double check. You want to contact your mentors. You want to double check what's wrong with you, but only after 6 weeks. Before, I don't see any reason to do that, because it takes time until companies are calling you after you send the resume. Sometimes it will take 2 minutes. Sometimes it will take 2 hours. Sometimes it will take a week or two, but sometimes it will take 4 to 6 weeks. So if nobody calls you during the first 4 weeks, that's totally fine. I promise you that in 1 to 3 months, you will see the results. And if you're going to follow instructions, you're also going to see 4 to 10 interviews, out of which you're definitely going to get an offer. Why? Because 70% of the questions that you're going to have during the interviews are going to be exactly the same questions that we prepared you for. The fact that some interviews ask you for more, you should not care about it. Why? Because out of 10 interviews, maybe 1, 2 going to ask you something that you didn't learn, didn't know, or you not prepared for. Who cares? The 70% will ask you exactly what we prepared you for. That's why after you're going to get to 4, 5, 6, 7 interviews, you will get an offer if you're prepared. If you're not, it might take you longer. We had a guy who failed 15 interviews, and he came to me telling me that, hey Max, that's it, I quit, because I failed 15 interviews. And I was like, because it was very strange. I double checked his resume, I double checked his LinkedIn. It was fine. He passed the mock interview with the mentor. I could not understand what's the problem. So at that point, I told him, you know what? Please tell me what you answer whenever they ask, tell me about yourself. And I was shocked, because he was answering it like he was literally reading it from a page. He was not reading it, but he sounded like he was reading it. He sounded like he didn't know what he's talking about. He sounded like a super junior. He sounded like he's memorizing something. And I told him, okay, that's exactly the reason why nobody gonna hire you. And you need just to get a mirror or get to the mirror and read it confidently, and make sure that you sound real, that you sound like it's your text, that you're telling the story, that it's not something you are trying to remember, that it's not something that you are reading, that it's your personal answer. And also his voice was like, he was worried. He sounded like he's not sure, he's not confident. So I told him, you will not get the job if you're going to be like that. You want to be more confident. You want to sound like you don't really care about this company. Why? Because you're still working. According to your resume, you're working. You're doing fine. You're just looking for new opportunities. You're exploring, So if they don't hire you, you don't care about it. Why? Because you have dozens of companies that will hire you. So now you just look for, the company that's going to offer you more. And I want you to come to the interview, and I don't want you to show that you are very much interested to get the job. No, I want you to be cool. I want you to be confident. I told him that. He went to the first interview after that, and boom, he got 75K. You know what happened a month after? He called me and said that, I already got more than 80K in other state, in other city, working remotely. I think it was remotely. Okay? Just because he changed the way he sound, the way that he shows confidence. That's it. And he was not confident. But after I explained him the problem, and he worked on that in front of the mirror for maybe a couple hours, he got 2 offers after 2 interviews. I don't want you to get to 15 interviews. I don't want you to repeat his mistakes. I want you to get the interview after 5. I want you to get the offer after 5 interviews, or 4 interviews. But again, sometimes for some people it will take more than 4, because you have other candidates, maybe someone bringing his cousin or something else. You never know. That's why you should go for 10 interviews, and you're definitely going to see at least 1 offer. That's how it works. Let's see. Um, so if you have a previous experience on your LinkedIn, you just remove it from your LinkedIn. Okay. I'm eager now, but still have issues with test cases. Guys, most of you will never need to write test cases because someone already wrote it before you came to the company. So don't worry about the test cases. And if you will need to refresh your memory about test cases, you will have this opportunity during the internship. And also during the last lesson, I will show you 2 links of lessons about the test cases that you can watch, rewatch, and be more prepared for it. Don't worry about the test cases. Those that are asking me the exact day when we start the internship, please rewatch today's lesson because I answered it a few times. Should I talk to mentor on how to talk about 10 years of gap in resume? Yes. And I recommend to not show any gap in the resume. So if you have a gap, just remove the gap. Remove your previous experience. Nobody wants to see your experience from 10 years ago. I promise you that. Great. Awesome. Wow. I'm glad that everything becomes more clear to you. And I'm sorry that it took some time to come and tell you the facts and what things are in the real world, because we wanted you to get familiar with everything. We wanted you to get familiar with the terminology, with the theory. It's important for you to be a better professional. Would you really need it at work? Most likely not. Because at work, you just need to speak English, to follow instructions, to be detail oriented, to be nice, to be friendly, to think twice before you do something, to check 3 times before you write a bug report, of course, to reproduce it, to make sure it's a real issue. Before asking questions from your manager or lead, you definitely want to use your common sense. You want to investigate for at least 15-20 minutes to try to figure out things on your own. If you need, you can go to the documentation. If you need, you can go to Google, you can go to YouTube, you can ask your colleague after that. But don't run to ask everything from the manager or the lead. Try to figure out things on your own. Trust me, everyone will really appreciate that. And also, whenever you get an answer about something, please write it down so you will never, ever gonna ask it again. Because whenever your manager or a lead or someone in your team gonna notice that you ask same question more than once, I promise you that they're gonna report you to the manager and ask him why the hell he brought you. Okay? So please make sure that you don't ask same question twice. Make sure that if you have memory problems, because for example, some people have memory problems, like me. For example, somebody told me that I could forget. That's why it's important to write down things if you cannot keep everything in your head. Most likely, whenever you have a lot of things going on, you'll forget things. That's why it's better to have a notepad and write some notes. Okay? Very important. And of course, after you're going to get the job, just for those of you that are very nervous and worried, guys, you have us. Once you get the job and you're not sure about something and you're lost and you have no idea what to do, contact us. We will help. We will give you advice. Okay? We will support you. I love to promise that. You know why? For the past 2 years, maybe 10 people called and asked something very simple, something very basic. maybe 2 times it was not basic, and definitely we gave good advice, but people are not calling to ask questions. You know why? Because everything is very straightforward, very simple in most cases, and if you just try to investigate yourself, you will find the answer. Please learn how to Google, because sometimes I get questions like, something that you could Google it in 5 seconds. You definitely don't want to ask something from your manager or your lead, something that you could Google. And many times the manager and the lead could tell you, did you Google it before coming asking me the question? Or did you try to investigate it? Did you try to figure it out? Okay, so have this rule: 20 minutes you try to figure out before you ask questions. It's going to be very valuable. And of course, using Google will change your life. You can do a different breakfast every day. You can know the time zones. You can know all the holidays. You can get anything on Google. Okay, so if you never Googled before, I highly recommend you to become a Googler. Cool. Great. Awesome. Yes, it's very important. And gaps in your experience, you don't want to have gaps, because it will raise questions. Why you have a gap? What did you do during that time? No reason for that. Remove the gaps. And it will make you look younger. Okay? Most of us prefer to look younger on the resume and the LinkedIn. It will open you more doors, more calls. Again, officially, the companies should not discriminate you based on your age, but de facto, we see that they probably are, in case that you showing it in your resume and LinkedIn. But again, we just had graduates that just the past month, the past 2 weeks, we had one graduate, 55 years old, in New Jersey. He got 75 or 80K. You will see his story in the videos that I shared with you. And we had another guy just recently, like a week ago, that got a job in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's 60 years old. He looks like he's 50, but he's 60 years old and he got this job. So maybe it's because he was showing only the QA experience without showing his previous experience and without showing the year of the graduation. Okay, maybe because of that. But age is not a problem. Okay. And we have a graduate who's 19 years old in Miami. I think he's in Tampa, I'm sorry, in Florida, who got 70K, and he's 19 years old without even a college degree. Okay, cool. Awesome. So guys, I hope that you got the links of the graduate success stories that are not appearing on our website, but they are for internal use for our graduates. I'm going to share it with you one more time because I really want you to copy them and I want you to watch them. It's private. It's just for our graduates because they didn't give any permission to share it with the public or with people outside of the course. So please respect their privacy and just it's for you to witness what's going on. Okay? And I'm sure that it will help you to be more motivated and to follow the instructions. Guys, thank you very much for being with us. We definitely will not let you down. We're going to support you. We're going to help you. Of course, you just need to focus, to follow instructions, to be positive, to be nice, to be friendly, and you will see the results. I promise you that. All right? Cool. All right, guys. See you soon on the last lesson. Thank you very much. And bye-bye, guys. I'm going to keep the chat open for another minute so you can copy the links. Bye-bye.